How about those Rams getting the job done this last weekend, huh? Got the
Yeah.
job done. Excited, glad to see that. It's your boy G and Alec here. Another episode of 1600. Thank you much for tuning in. Do the like, rate, you subscribe, comment, share, all the good stuff for us. Also, of course, be sure to follow us on LA Sports Report. A lot of fun stuff coming your way. We're excited for all the things going. We're debuting for you guys in the new year. I'm excited to continue to build things up as we head into that. So good things across the board there. We said with the Rams, they got the job done this last weekend, beating the Browns 36-19, impressive fashion, and definitely appreciate them getting the job done. Alec, just passing you a first takeaway, what you saw from the Rams this last weekend.
Yeah. First takeaway: the Browns defense wasn't as stout as I expected it to be against this Rams offense, and that was a welcome sight as Stafford was able to take advantage. Had I think tossed 3 touchdowns in that game, one of which big 70-yarder to Puka Nacua, who continues to show why he's in that running for Offensive Rookie of the Year. While CJ Stroud probably has a stranglehold on that award.
Sure.
Puka got off to the sensational start and is showing that it wasn't a fluke. He's very much here. So yeah, that was a impressive win from the Rams there. I think we both had them winning and was happy to see them get the job done.
And we talked about before the game that it helps create an interesting situation here. We're still pushing for the playoffs. We thought we were written off, but they, as folks would say, they wrote us off, but they ain't right back, or however they say it. Rams are still in contention and are pushing for a playoff spot and are just on the outside in the A spot currently in the NFC. With a good chance of getting so, with a couple of teams ahead of them that very well may fall. What are your thoughts on the? Actually, no, I'm not going to say what your thoughts. I'm going to ask this: we see who else are around there. We see that the Rams are there, as we are talking about. The Seahawks or Bucks are a notch below. Saints just below just above us. The Packers and the Vikings. Of those teams fighting for contention, if you could call your shot, what 2 teams of those in the bubble would you say are going to get the playoff spot?
Yeah, I think it really does come down to that 6 through 9. Those 6 through 9 teams in the standings there, because 5 and up looks pretty solidified. Like we know the Cowboys are going to be a playoff team, and the teams ahead of them, I don't really see them falling too much. Right. Potentially the Falcons, but that NFC South is, as we've talked about, not very strong. So I think they'll stay in there. But between those 4 teams, 6 through 9, I like the Rams trajectory, what they're on, and the fact that they have the tiebreaker over the Seahawks because they won both of those games versus the Seahawks. So I like the Rams making it over the Seahawks out of the NFC West. And between the Packers and Vikings, the Packers seem to me like they've found their rhythm. Jordan Love is looking like the guy for them. The Vikings, Josh Dobbs had a couple good weeks, but then we saw kind of the downside of what Josh Dobbs can bring at times with the 3 or 4 interception game that he had on Monday night. So I think the Packers and the Rams of those 4 teams, I think those 2 are the ones that end up making it in the playoffs.
That was my thought as well. Definitely echoing the same things you were saying. I think the Rams definitely can find their way into the playoffs as we had hoped. It would be the best case scenario for them. It's playing out right now. And the Packers, who have found their stride. Matt LaFleur put together a great game plan. We'll talk about that more later on. But as much as we, of course, Jordan Love executed it, just seeing how they were to pick apart the Chiefs squad this last weekend definitely was impressive. And if they continue to find ways to do that against the remaining teams on their schedule, they surely will have that one of them spots locked up. So I agree with you that the Rams and Packers should be the ones to get in there. So that makes it a fun time for us in LA. One of our squads is doing well at least, and we salute them for getting the job done. And you talked about how one of the key pieces of other squad doing well is Puka and what he's doing right now. Seeing how well he's playing, does it make Cooper Kupp expendable in the future? How you feel about Puka's rise this season and what it means for our receiving core down the line?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I see him quite as expendable. Like I know he's been a little bit banged up these last year and a half or so. And he's getting a little older. He's what, 29, 30?
Somewhere around there, I believe.
He's right around there. But I mean, we just recently, what was that? I guess that 2.5 seasons ago now, where he had the Triple Crown and the crazy wide receiver season en route to them winning the Super Bowl. I think he still has that upper end wide receiver talent. I think he's just been hampered by injury a bit. And so I guess if you're concerned about that going forward, I can understand with the rise of Puka and how well he's played, him being a little bit more expendable than he may have been in a years past. But he's just so talented there and has the rapport with Matthew Stafford already. If you're sticking with Stafford for another year or two, I think it makes sense to stick with Kupp.
Yeah.
It's going to be a matter of like restructuring his contract to where
Right.
maybe he's not getting paid as much, and he'd have to be okay with that. But I think as long as you're keeping Stafford and McVay, and like I think you'd want to keep Kupp there together with them because Puka just adds to the dynamic.
That's really gonna be my point. It just depends on what they decide the future is going to be. If they want to keep maintaining that core that they had from the Super Bowl, and with Donald there as well on the defensive side, with Stafford leading one on the offense, then sure, you keep Kupp alongside with them and let them play out their tenures here for as long as you desire with that. But they go to the future type of look and rebuild a little bit and find new pieces to build around. We talked about with the draft, there's plenty of pieces that will be available for them to do so across the board. If they decide to say, okay, let's go ahead and pull the trigger on a rebuild a little bit on our key spots. I'd say go ahead and let Kupp go somewhere else and continue to build around Nacua, who has shown he could be a 1A himself in this offense as McVay has designed. So, yeah, it just depends on which way they want to go. Which way would you go with how you see things playing out right now? Would you just keep Kupp and Stafford for another year? Or would you say, you know what, we've seen enough and let's start moving to the future with Nacua and Kyron and those boys?
I think personally I would continue to I would run it back with Cooper Kupp as well. Just seeing, I mean, we doubted them coming into the season, but they've shown with this core they can put together wins.
Right.
And the defense still has issues. So if they're able to retool that defense a little bit too, I think they might have even stronger finish to the next season, barring injury. So I think I would continue to run it back with Kupp now. I think Puka just adds to the dynamic that they already have. It's a bonus. I don't know if I would completely lean into him as the number one and going into the full youth version of the Rams yet.
I surely would draft a backup QB still. I surely would have somebody back up because we've seen now a couple of years now that we've gotten in tight situations where we need to throw in a Carson Wentz or a Ripping or somebody. It's time to have a secure backup who could be the future of this squad at the QB spot with Stafford's injury history as it's been. But in regards to keeping him for at least another year or two to be somewhat of the lead, I do think Stafford can still be that, and Kupp could be there alongside him. With the receiver, with QBs, you might, when there's we'll talk about Jordan Love a little bit. When you see Jordan Love's on the way, you can move on from the quarterback you have because you know you can build up the next one. But receivers, it's okay to have a couple of good guys. You can have more than one and it'd be just fine. So, and the cool being good does not mean, okay, now we got to throw away the rest of the other good guys and just bank on him. We can still have companies, but we still have Tutu out when all these other guys who are developing to still be there and contribute as well as they are. So, I'm cool with them staying around for another year or two, which for a moment we said before the season, we weren't sure, and we were talking about full rebuilds and stuff. They've proven they still have some life, and salute them for staying afloat this season. So, a lot of good stuff there with the Rams. Anything else within you want to discuss?
I just checked Cooper Kupp's age. He's 30, too. So, I think he's still got a couple good years left in him. Maybe not the close to 2,000 yards or whatever anymore, but I think he's still got some good production left in him for sure. So,
absolutely. So, excited to see how they continue to push this season. As you see in the tag, let's go for it. I definitely will see them continue to push for this playoff spot and see what they could do to maximize this season as they already are. Just happy that things are going well with them. So, good stuff there. Let us know in the comments what you think about the squad right now. Let us know what you think about the future of this team and all of that. And we'll surely be there to talk to you all about that. And appreciate y'all for showing love as you do.